Hey folks, it's Angel. Welcome back to the channel, and apparently everyone wants to be my friend. We are looking at the GeeBee R2 today, the Granville Brothers Model R Super Sportster. Now this is the first aircraft released with Sim Update 9, which just came out, so having never flown in Sim Update 9, this could go horribly wrong. Now, this was a special built racing aircraft by the Granville Brothers Aircraft Company of Springfield, Massachusetts, at the now abandoned, unfortunately, Springfield Airport. This aircraft was originally the R1, the 1932 model, and its sister plane, the R2, were the successors of the previous year's trophy-winning Model Z. This is the Model Z. Now, I'll show you the images here of, you get both the R2 with one livery, in the R1/2 livery of the red and white, with, of course, the Aviators Club and Xbox liveries, which, don't know if anyone actually flies those, and you get the Z as well. Now, this is a joint project between Asobo and Carenado again, like the Beach 17. Now, this thing is quite a potent aircraft. What does it do? Well, it has a max speed of 255 knots, which is insane for something this small. Stall speed of 78 knots, which is quite high. That's something to be aware of. Range is 630 miles at full throttle, 804 nautical miles. And at full throttle, you've got an endurance of 2 hours 14. That is crazy. At cruise, about 3.6, so I believe it can do... Oh, sorry, no, it's 925 miles at cruise, 630 miles at full throttle. There we go. So a bit of a separation there. Now, it uses the Pratt & Whitney Wasp engine with the 550 horsepower behind that. Let's go take a look at this thing, shall we? Oh, dear love of cheesecakes. Hi. It's kind of bright outside my room today, so I guess we're doing this without head tracking. It's one thing head tracking tends to screw up with is bright lights. So as you'll notice at the back here we have a tail skid, which is actually rather nicely weathered. There's a wheel in there actually. No, there is a wheel. It's got a lot of fairing though. Love the detailing. Now, of course, being a Carenado model, it is very detailed, so we do benefit from that. This is the race-winning Model Z, which is a rather cool plane. Now, of course, getting to this, I believe you hinge open this entire portion, but we'll find out once we're inside, because only your head sticks out the top. And for once, at least the fixed pilots does actually make sense. So what do we got in here? We have our Lexan canopy, which is surprisingly a lot of visibility. Airflow, which... Is that affecting something on the outside that I can't see? I think it is. It's just there. You can see a bit of a shift. Now, of course, we do have down here... Can I get rid of this? Yes, I can. Fuel selectors. We have Navcom radio, which is always useful. Now, I do not see a transponder. That could be an issue for VATSIM, but we do have Navcom radios. I mean, you can fly VATSIM without one. It's just preferable to have one, of course. Prop, mixture, throttle. Parking brake down here. Pitch trim. What is this? It's an operative. Okay, so it's our oil tank stuff. Okay. Now, fuel pumps. Starter and mags. Very simple. That coil boost obviously doesn't function, which is unfortunate there, but not exactly a lot that needs to function in this aircraft. Texturing is nice. This looks a little too pristine though at the back behind me. It's very much tiled as a texture. But the rest of the aircraft which you're going to look at does look good. This, I'm not sure about the back of the panel. It might be accurate to the aircraft, but it definitely looks a bit... This is meant to be the kind of swirly buffed metal. It just looks a little too flat in the sim texture, I think. Alright, mags are on. Let's give this thing a start. Let's put our feet on the brakes here. Ooh, that is throaty. I like it. Well, it looks like we found it. Oh, God. No, 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 no. Yeah, don't do that from a stand. Don't do that from a stand. It will tip over. This is a lot of horsepower behind a small aeroplane. The sounds are gorgeous. Looks like we have a decent Wasp sound set now. Look at this little thing. It's so stubby. It's adorable. This is going to be a horror to fly. And is my head tracking going to work? That's the question. Turn that back on again. We'll restart my head tracking and make sure this actually functions, because there's a good chance it will just go ha 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 der. But there you go. Unfortunately, my office is on the north side of my house, which is catching all the sun. This is passable. We'll go with this. It does stupid things like that. Okay. You know what? We'll fly with it off today. It's going to be safe. Oh, my brain. No. Stop it. Okay. We're flying old school. Less about this, more about flying. So let's get the parking brake off. And let's start taxiing out here. I don't think there's a way to open the cockpit, or at least a way to climb in and out of this thing. Which I believe is this whole segment here. It is. Would come open, technically. Stay straight. Thank you. I'm looking down, not up. Now, I'm expecting this to be kind of terrifying when we take off, so we'll find out. I am at idle right now on the throttle. Trying to keep this thing from going too nuts. Let's pull the prop back. Please slow down. You are very spicy. It's a racing plane. Now, of course, we do have the Gottfriend's GeeBee R3, which was a concept design that never actually left the paper with the Granville Brothers, but has become something that was a RC model legend. People love that thing in the RC community. And that is also a wild stallion of an aircraft on the ground. It definitely holds up the performance aspect we'd expect from a GeeBee. Oh boy, this thing has spice to it. This thing wants to fly. Let's go. Give it some rudder. And I'm swinging wildly like a ridiculous moron. Because, oh boy, no, yeah, no. Okay, we're back, because guess what? I crashed. Because this thing is a wild machine. And I really have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to this. I am going to try, much to your amusement, I suspect, to get this thing in the air again. And it is a lot to handle, I will tell you that now. This is not an easy plane to take off with. I didn't fully advance the throttle. I was going to try and be gentle, but it definitely has a wild tendency to go right. So I'm going to try and keep the throttle low for takeoff here and not advance it too far. You will find taxiing you need a lot of brake, because this thing will run away with you. It definitely runs away. Night lighting, there's no switches. It doesn't have night lighting. It's very much a daytime plane. Okay. Let's try and get this thing airborne. Let's get the nose down. No, 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 no. That's trees again. That's trees again. That is trees again. Let's try and... No, no, no. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? This is going to be a hard one. I can already tell. I can already tell. This is going to be really hard. Okay. Now, we don't have flaps, but we have control surface. That's about it. So this is literally a get up and go beast. Let's see what happens if we go full throttle here and... Okay. We have some more modicum of success. Oh dear God, the rattle. Did you see that? The whole canopy shook. This is a wild machine. At least I got it off the ground. The G-force effects, my God. I know the G-force effects was something that was coming with the new sim update, but that is nuts. So look at that. The whole Lexan canopy shakes. Okay, let's get this thing trimmed out and stable. We're about 50% of the throttle right now because I don't want to go too nuts though. Now, of course, this is a racing aircraft, so it's designed to go fast. So we're going to go fast. Look at me with my head tracking with a stick. I normally do all my recording at night when it's nice and dark in my office, but apparently my curtains need to be thicker. Love the dirt and chips on the canopy here. It definitely does add some really good vibes. That's a terrible camera angle. Thank you for the default there. Listen to the wind noises. That is so cool. With this being such a thin, small canopy, you can really hear the wind whistling past it. Now, of course, this is a racing aircraft, not necessarily an aerobatic aircraft, so it's not really designed to do that. But this thing is gorgeous. And my FPS is fantastic with this aircraft. Wow, listen to that. We're at max chat on the engine. And this thing is hauling the mail. You can hear the wind swishing past you. Every creak and crevice of this aircraft sounds amazing. This is so fun. I'm so used to looking with my head now. There's no way I'm slowing down for that. We'll circle back around, then we'll start to make our approach here. But this is £12 on the marketplace, for about $15 or so. Oh, I love those effects. This thing is wild. This is a visceral experience. If you don't like racing planes or aerobatic aircraft, maybe the shaking is a little over dramatic, but this feels so nice to fly. I feel like I'm literally a pilot stuffed into a tiny capsule of an aircraft to fly this thing. It feels claustrophobic, it feels small, it feels like they've literally stuck wings on an engine. It's insane. I'm so used to using head tracking now that it's hard to actually coordinate myself. Try and lose some speed there. Okay, this is going to be a crabbing approach job. I can't see over this nose. But the nose is humongous on this aircraft, so... a lot of shake there. Rattle and roll. Oh my gosh, this is spicy. I don't even know where I'm going. I can't even see it. There it is. I am way too low. But I don't even know if there's a good way to make an approach in this aircraft, or even there's a standard approach to making this aircraft. Because it's not exactly a standard aircraft. This is a wild creature. It wasn't even designed for an airport like this. I'm coming in too low there. Let's bring the nose up. This is a horrifying experience, I will tell you that much. But I somehow managed to make it. Jesus. Oh god, I need to sit down. If I wasn't sitting down, I would need to sit down after flying that. This doesn't want to land. This is meant to be in the air, going fast. This was not designed for ground handling. This was not designed for landing visibility. Landing it is a horror show, but surprisingly manageable if you're careful. You can't see a thing facing forwards. You very much have to break an approach in a crab like I did there. My angle was too low, the plane was too high, the plane was too fast, too slow. I don't know. I'm scared. Someone take me home, please. I'm scared. This thing is crazy. I love it. Yes, takeoff performance is kind of crazy. You do need to basically go into full chat and try and get it up and off the ground ASAP before it starts to get any ideas about where it'd rather be. Landing is best performed whilst closing your eyes and hoping. The panel texture is what bugs me the most. That's the one thing I'm not sure about. But hey, it's period. This is something I definitely will fly a few times and terrify myself with. I do prefer the Gotfriend's R3 though. Yes, it's fictional, technically modern engine, but the cockpit layout and instruments are much nicer. Obviously, it's a more modern rendition of an aircraft. What if that was built today? For the price of this, as an Asobo Carenado combo, this is not terrible. Right, let's shut down the monster that wants to murder me. I like this plane. This is fun. This is definitely a fun aeroplane. Now here we are with the R2. This is the other version that you get with this, and it is distinctly different. Of course, it's newer than the Z, but the canopy there is more what you'd call regular, at least. It's metal. And otherwise, exterior is the tail wheel there. in a little block, smaller, shorter. They do fly the same, basically. They're horrifying. You will need your blanket, a lie down, and a bottle after flying these planes. So we're not going to fly this version, but we are going to take a look at it inside and out. And inside, it's a little bit more modern. In fact, it's a lot more modern, in fact. You've got a transponder. You've actually got a Navcom radio, which is super useful. That is very nice. You have got nav lights. You have other functions on this aircraft. With primer as well, we have boost pumps. We'll start her up just so you can hear this thing. Just as throaty and evil. The interior is stunning in this thing. And there's an exit door. Yeah, that's how you get into this thing. Through a tiny little hatch. I don't know how the pilot would climb into this in real life. This is... what? Like, you must stick your head up through there, somehow bang your head on the top, and then slither your body inside. No. Just no. Dear God. This thing is terrifying. But it is gorgeous in its own very wrong way. Fuel selector, things that don't work. At least in this one you've got easy, good instrumentation, and this looks kind of nice. And I love this panel more. If I fly this plane, I'll be flying this version because it's not got that horrific buffed metal panel. And I actually like the look of this metal framing a lot better. Not bad at all. Let's actually take this one up briefly. We'll be very quick. But I want to see what this is like in terms of its behaviour. It's probably going to scare the living crud out of me as well, but we'll find out. Let's taxi her out here. This is definitely the better version, the R2. But at least you can actually see more about what's going on with the instruments, at least. You can't see much more about what's going on outside the aircraft, of course, but you can guess. I think that's probably the best way to phrase it. We'll briefly take this one up. We're not going to bring this in on full circuit and land it, but we will take a quick takeoff and see if I die quite as quickly. Alright, what I learned from the last one is hammer it. The trick is to leave the ground before the plane realizes it's trying to escape. No! Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm terrible at this. Dear God. I'm going to die. That's a tree. I'm probably dead already. And that's a boat. Hi. Oh, this scares me so much. And this feels like a position that I think a lot of us will be in pretty regularly, but at least as far as I'm concerned, I kind of want to learn to fly this thing just because it's so scary. I'm going to have to take my time to study how to fly this thing, at least in terms of takeoff and landing. Landing is kind of close your eyes and hope. Takeoff is very much probably technique-based, which I don't have yet, but hopefully you'll at least find it funny. So yeah, thanks for watching, and you'll probably end up like this a fair bit. Bye!